السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. Inshallah Azza wa Jal, today we'll talk about an issue that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I'm going to put this in the questions playlist, like the place of questions, not because someone asked me this, but because some people might ask themselves this, yeah, I guess. Because I'm going to make the video form in the form of a question or the form of answering, yeah, even though, as I said, no one asked me this, just to be clear. What is the ruling on marrying someone from the people of the book? Number one, I'm gonna split this video, let's say this response, in two parts. I'm gonna split the response to this question in two parts. Number one, the Islamic ruling of it, which most people will think that they know, but when you listen to what I will say, you will realize that there's some very important things that you probably don't know. Number two, the advice, a sincere advice to the person who's genuinely thinking of this. Number one, the ruling of it. It is allowed for a Muslim man to marry a woman from the people of the book. Now, the people of the book are who? The people of the book are the Jews and the Christians. This is the default, and some added to them, some others. But we will say here that they're the Jews and the Christians. طيب. And if you take the view that the others also go into it, then this will apply to them as well. But this is not what I want to make this video about here. And of course, Ibn al-Qayyim talked about this a lot in Ahkamu Ahl al-Dhimma. So a Muslim man is allowed to marry a Jewish or a Christian woman with certain conditions fulfilled. Number one, Allah Azza wa Jal, when Allah Azza wa Jal allowed this for us Muslim men, Allah Azza wa Jal said, اليوم أحل لكم الطيبات وطعام الذين أوتوا الكتاب حل لكم وطعامكم حل لهم والمحصنات من المؤمنات والمحصنات من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم إذا آتيتموهن أجورهن محسنين, إلى آخر الآية. فالله عز وجل said والمحصنات من المؤمنات, that we Muslim men are allowed to marry the pure from the believing woman. والمحصنات من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم, and the pure from those who from the people of the book, from those who were given a book before you. So here Allah Azza wa Jal shows us that the first condition is that she is pure, meaning that she is not azaniyah. طيب. نعم. طيب. So here I want to say that number one, where will you find this woman from the people of the book that is pure, that is not azaniyah? I'm sorry, I'm not, there definitely are. I'm not saying that there aren't, but it's very rare. Plus, those who are pure, are not, the one who is not azaniya from the people of the book, I'm sure she will, that type, she will not want to marry a Muslim man. Right? Because those are mostly the very strict Christians or the very strict Jews who I don't think they would actually allow, or I don't think they themselves would accept to marry a Muslim man. This is number one. Number two, those that would accept a Muslim man, or those that wouldn't care about your deen, are usually those that are not pure. Right? I'm not saying that it does not exist, that she doesn't care about your deen and she's pure, but I'm saying that in this day and age, the only reason why a woman or even a man would want to stay pure and not be azani is because of his deen. طيب. And this obviously zina obviously is not allowed for the Jews, it's not allowed for the Christians, as well as it obviously is not allowed for us. طيب. As I said, and those types of people, the very strict, or the strict Christians and the Jews that are not just Christians and Jews by name, I don't think they would accept to marry a Muslim man. And I'm saying that those who would accept that are mostly those that don't care about the deen. Those who will say that they are Christians by name, but they don't actually care about it. And the last time they went to church was like when their grandma died, right? No. And of course I know a lot of that type, subhanAllah, here in Germany. This is the common, this is the most common thing. When I was in school, as an example, it was very rare to find someone who most guys that I would try to invite to Islam or so, they, even if they would say that they're Christians, they would they, as I said, they would be of those type that the last time they went to church was when someone died. What I'm trying to say with that is that they don't care about going to church. They don't even go on like their own important days, like Christmas or so. طيب. I'm saying that it's very rare to find a woman who's from the people of the book that is pure, that will accept you. طيب. But now going back to, as we said, the first condition, as we said, is that she is pure. The second one, and this is the one that is very important and the one that many people don't know, is that you need to get married in the countries of Islam. You cannot get married in the countries of the kuffar, and this is a must. And I've never seen anyone talk about this on English, which is which is the main reason why I'm making this clip. And the second reason I am talking about this is because of the advice that I will give afterwards, inshallah. But as I said, we will get to that afterwards, inshallah azza wa jal. طيب, what is the proof about this? This is not just a small issue that scholars disagreed on. So this is an issue of ijma', and this was mentioned by Al-Qasim ibn Sallam in Kitabu Al-Nasikh wal-Mansukh. طيب. And in that he said that it was said to Ibrāhīm, Ibrāhīm an-Nakha'i, that I think Al-Hakam asked him about the woman of the people of the book. Then Al-Hakam told him that he heard that it is not allowed to marry the women of the people of the book in their countries. So he mentioned that to Ibrāhīm, and he accepted that. And then Abu Ubaid, he commented on this and said that the scholars acted upon this, and that there is no ikhtilaf, or that he does not know ikhtilaf amongst the scholars in this issue. طيب. And this is a very important thing that a lot of people miss, because most men nowadays who marry women from the people of the book do that because they are in America or in Europe or so. So as we said, this is not allowed. If you want to marry a woman from the people of the book, you need to do it in the countries of the Muslimin. طيب? No. Now someone could come and ask, why is this the case? This is the case because her being in the countries of the kuffar, or you being married in the countries of the kuffar, there are three main things that I could think of, and that also the Sheikh said, Sheikh al-Khlafi, and Sheikh Muhammad, is that number one, number one, the issue of you aslan living in the countries of the kuffar is an issue of dispute, meaning that a lot of scholars said that it is not allowed aslan. Number two, when you then have children from her, inshallah azza wa jal, then of course they will get raised by a kafir in the countries of the kuffar. What will you expect him to be? Sheikh al-Islam? طيب. Number three is that if there are any issues between them, it is a very high chance that the countries of the kuffar, that they will rule in favor of her, because of the fact that she is a kafir. طيب. No. طيب. Now, I also want to mention, before we get to the advice that I want to give on this issue, inshallah azza wa jal, can a Muslim woman marry a non-Muslim man? No. Abadan. This is not allowed in any case. In fact, if two people are married, and let's say both of them are kuffar, and then she comes to Islam, then she due to that she is automatically divorced from her husband, who of course then is no longer her husband. The same thing if both of them follow Islam, and then iyadhu billah, the man leaves Islam, then of course as well they are divorced. طيب. And of course, if he comes back during the عدة, and so then he can take her back, you know, if this is the first. يعني not gonna go into the details of this here يعني, but in short is that they are divorced يعني. طيب. Now, to the part of the advice. As we said, would I advise you to do this? Or would I, يعني, if I had the choice, would I do this? Would I allow my son to do this? Obviously not. Why? Because now saying that it is allowed is one thing, and saying that you should do it is another thing. So just because we're saying that it is allowed to do it doesn't mean that you should go and do it. The Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, when he advised us what to seek for in a spouse, the first thing that he told us about is her deen. طيب. Not wallahi her beauty, or wallahi her her clothes, or her background, or her family, or her income, or so. The most important thing is a deen. The most important thing is her deen. And everything other than it comes after that. And we're not telling people to get married to someone that they, are not attracted to, or to get married to, someone who is very poor or so. طيب. If they have an issue with her being poor. طيب. But we are saying that the most important thing is her deen. And if she is the most beautiful girl that you have seen, but يعني she delays her prayer, she rarely reads the Quran, and so on, then you will not be relaxed with her. طيب. However, if she maybe, she's not I don't know what they call, like beauty queen or this I don't know يعني. طيب, this like queen, I don't know يعني, but Allah المستعان. Even if she's not that, even if she's not the most beautiful girl that you have seen, but her deen is good, and she and you see that she fears Allah Azza wa Jal, then of course this is a lot more important than her looks. Plus, talking about looks, even if you, as we said, even if you marry the most beautiful girl, طيب, you will, after a while, you will get used to that. طيب. And so it will not يعني yes, maybe in the first month or 2 or 3 or 4 يعني that will make a big يعني difference to you, right? But after that it will be a normal thing يعني. And I'm sure when you're getting married, I mean you don't plan to get married for 4 months يعني, because the default in Islam is that you do that to build يعني a family, and not like the Shia. فلذلك the most important thing is her deen. This is the number one thing you need to look at. This is the number one thing you need to search for when you search for a wife. Everything else comes after that. طيب. The next thing I want to give advice on is think about think about when you two have kids يعني. Do you think that she will raise them upon Tawheed? Do you think that she would teach them fiqh? يعني I'm talking about the one who marries يعني a Jew or Christian. Do you think that she will teach them how to make istinja and how to pray correctly, and يعني أذكار النوم and so on? No. يعني in the least case she's not going to teach them anything, and in the worst case she will teach them الإنجيل. طيب. والعياذ بالله. فسبحان الله. This is definitely also a very important thing that you should think about. Yeah. Plus, even, let's say, even if you don't plan to have kids, which of course you can never really plan in the correct way, right? Especially because I don't advise to use pills يعني, and so on. This issue we talked about يعني, in the episode 8 of westernized. However, so as we said, even if you don't plan to have kids, or let's say even if you cannot أصلا have kids, لا قدر الله, then you still don't know how she will affect you. طيب. Because she might affect you in ways that you don't even feel. I've seen this in everyone who gets married to a Jew or a Christian. So everyone that I have seen يعني, they always get affected by her in some way. I mean, bro, this is يعني your wife يعني. Of course you're going to be affected by her. طيب. This is someone that you plan to live with for the rest of your life يعني. And as we know in Islam, we are told to, or we are taught to, when we choose friends, we should choose friends that fear Allah Azza wa Jal, because friends affect you. And friends, depending on you might see them once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week or so. if the Prophet ﷺ told us or warned us about taking bad friends because they will affect us, then what about taking a bad wife who will be with us every day? طيب. فالله المستعان. Now in the end, I want to end with a small advice to any man out there, Muslim man who is forced to live in the countries of the kuffar and he cannot find a sister to marry. There are a lot of ways to, inshallah Azza wa Jal, find a wife. طيب. Go to the mosque and ask the imam. There are a lot of online ways for an Islamic or to find a spouse طيب. I'm not talking about those like that one app by Mufti Menk or so. I'm talking about real things that reliable إخوة did فتry those and of course make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. والله المستعان. والله المستعان. And this is why also it's not allowed to free mix. So many of these people, it started with them that they went to the same school and that they went to the same school as a Christian girl or so. And then after that, he's because he doesn't lower his gaze and because he doesn't stay away from free mixing, he starts to look at her and then he starts to talk to her and so on, and then he starts to fall in love with her, and then he's like, طيب ما Allah allowed us to طيب يا شيخ طيب ما first you start with a sin, then you do another sin, then you do another sin, and now you come and say wallahi I love her and so on. طب ما you are the one who allowed that to occur أصلا. For such things you should always cut from the start, and you should cut the root cause. As we know, it starts with the look, then then you start to talk and so on. والعياذ بالله. الله المستعان.